Welcome to StopFake, the place where we identify fakes and debunk them to set the record straight on disinformation about Ukraine. I'm Marko Suprun with this week's dissections. U.S. sells Ukraine defective Javelin missiles. Ukraine prepares terror attacks in Crimea. How Ukraine rooted for Russia in the World Cup. And patriotism in America. Details ahead. Official Russian news agencies RT, RIA Novosti, and other Kremlin faithful media announced this week that the United States sold Ukraine defective Javelin anti-tank missiles. As proof of the alleged defects, these media offer a letter from the Ukrainian defense design company Luch to the National Security Defense Council Secretary Alexander Turchinov, who, as the letter implies, asked the company to review the reliability of the Javelins after they allegedly failed to fire during a training demonstration on May 22nd. The letter states the reason for the malfunction was a defect of the missile's propulsion engine. Its factory shelf life had expired, but was specifically extended before being sent to Ukraine. In a statement, Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council said the letter is fake. The council never asked Luch to assess the Javelins and never received any letter from them about the missiles. I don't know about you, but I just can't imagine how a missile engine shelf life can expire. Usually this has to do with the number of pressure cycles the engine goes through. Kremlin fake creators, maybe next time try using a more plausible lie. That Ukrainians supported Russia in the World Cup, even in the conditions of Russia hatred that Kiev authorities are disseminating, is an important political sign, concluded several Russian media in a series of articles expounding on how Ukraine was supporting the Russian national team. Ukrainians massively rooted for Russia after the match with Spain, wrote the Russian online newspaper Vzglyad, claiming the internet is filled with many videos showing how Ukrainians supported the team. But they don't include even a single video or link to support their ostentatious claim. Continuing in this manner, another Vzglyad article asserts that many Ukrainians perceive the Russian team as their own and support it, quote-unquote. As proof, they published a screenshot of a Facebook post purportedly by the Ukrainian Football Federation chairman's wife, Katerina Chaus. Ms. Chaus dismissed Vzglyad's claim as a complete fake and explained that she does not even have a Facebook account. Russian media also claimed that the Spain-Russia and Croatia-Russia matches were the most watched on Ukrainian television. Judging from the overwhelming Ukrainian wave of affection and admiration for Croatia and its team that swept social media after Croatia beat Russia, Ukrainians watched that game to make sure Russia lost. Now, according to Ukraine's Television Industry Committee, a regulatory and audience research body, the World Cup match that had the highest rating in Ukraine was the Argentina-Croatia match. Only one match involving Russia made it to the top 30 most watched June programs. But even these figures are not particularly impressive, writes journalist Katerina Shapoval, compared to the Ukrainian audience share for the 2016 European Cup, where, on average, 43 to 49% of Ukrainians tuned in to watch every match. Since Russia annexed Crimea in 2014, Kremlin faithful media regularly feature fakes claiming that Ukraine is preparing a terrorist campaign to destabilize the peninsula. The latest such fake appeared in June after Russia's National Security Secretary Nikolai Patrushev arrived on the peninsula for a security meeting. Patrushev said Crimea faced a high terrorist threat because of Ukraine's policy of not recognizing Russia's occupation of the peninsula. He said that Crimea was awash with Ukrainian terrorists, Crimean Tatars, and Mejlis extremists. After Russia annexed Crimea, Moscow declared the Crimean Tatar representative body, the Mejlis, an illegal political organization. Patrushev asserted that the Mejlis is calling for terrorist attacks on the peninsula. Patrushev's claims are completely untrue, said Ukrainian MP and Mejlis leader Mustafa Dzhemilev, and may actually signal a new wave of repression against the Crimean Tatars. Speaking to Radio Liberty's Crimean Realities program, Dzhemilev said that using terrorism as a pretext, Russia's security service, the FSB, will most likely begin repressions against those who disagree with the annexation of Crimea. In a Facebook post, Russian lawyer Nikolai Polozov, who represents several Ukrainian political prisoners held in Russia and Crimea, echoed Dzhemilev's warning. He is quite certain that as soon as the 2018 World Cup ends, Moscow will once again begin fabricating cases against those who disagree with Russian rule in Crimea. Patrushev's warning follows the essential principle of propaganda. It is laying the ground and preparing a public opinion for new detentions and arrests, something called the operational preparedness of the environment. And finally, an example of how the Russian disinformation machine twists data and omits details in its fake narrative about America. This fake was dissected by our colleagues at Polygraph, the joint VOA and Radio Free Europe Radio Liberty fact-checking website. The conservative Orthodox television channel Tsargrad, whose oligarch owner is Konstantin Malofeyev, who is sanctioned by the United States, ran a story based on a Gallup poll about national pride in the United States. Only 47% of Americans are proud of their country, Tsargrad declared. Now, they willfully misrepresented the overall poll results, leaving out key details of the poll scale representing different levels of national pride. While only 47% of poll respondents said they are extremely proud of their country, the combined number of respondents who said they are extremely, or very, or moderately, or only a little proud of their country was 95%. Big difference, right? This type of information manipulation is a classic Russian disinformation tactic, using factually accurate but manipulated or incomplete information to support a position. Thanks for tuning in this week. Help us preserve truth and true reality. If you spot any fakes about Ukraine, send them to us for a truth autopsy. Be vigilant. Don't consume fakes. For tips on how to do that, visit our website, stopfake.org. I'm Marko Suprun, and this is StopFake.